Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lit Up Lightworker Podcast, bringing you fun and soulful interviews with spiritual teachers with the aim of tuning you in and lighting you up. You can access all episodes of the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and TuneIn. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos and interviews all about finding and following your life purpose. My name is George Lizos. I'm a spiritual teacher, intuitive, the author of Be the Guru, Lightworkers Gotta Work, and the #1 best-selling Protect Your Light. And today I have with me Kate Yan. Kate Yan is an animal communicator, energy healer, and spiritual life coach for animals and their people. She has spent the past decade working with healing energy and in the personal growth industry. She believes animals are our teachers and angelic spirit guides to help us with our time here and live our best life. Kate, welcome to the Lit Up Lightworker Podcast.
Thank you so much. I'm thrilled to be here. How are you?
I am doing well and I'm so excited to have you here. We've been chatting back and forth for years and I'm so excited to finally have a chat with you and talk about animal communication. I can't believe I haven't brought someone yet on the podcast to talk about that because I love animals. I have a little puppy. I'm a psychic, but I've never even thought about communicating with my pet, with Lulu, telepathically. So I'm so excited to dive into the whole thing. But before we get into the juicy stuff, I want to hear a little bit about your journey. What has been your path to becoming an animal communicator and healer?
I started volunteering at the Fund for Animals, which was operated by the Humane Society. And the people that worked there were very much biologists and science-based, and they didn't really do any animal communication or anything like that. But they had cats there that were rescued off an island where they were being exterminated because they were competing with the local fox and wildlife. And so it was the Humane Society stepped in and they said, we can't have these cats on this island anymore and get exterminated. So they helicoptered them off the island. Imagine this, the cats getting helicoptered off an island, placed at the Fund for Animals. Now they were wild. They look like domestic cats, but they were actually wild and they wanted nothing to do with people because of what they had been through. So I said, okay, here's my challenge. This is what I asked for those years ago. I wanted to help rehabilitate cats. These are cats that you had to feed with push their bowl with a stick. They didn't want anything to do with people. You couldn't even touch them. There was 56 cats. And I worked there for 8 years. Every Saturday I volunteered, just sitting, doing energy healing with the cats and sending them love. And they would make a circle. They would sit in a circle and all of them would come for the healing. And then with time, they became more loving and their personalities would start to show and more trusting so they could be rehabilitated. And the best part is there were interns there from all over the world. I would teach them how to do the healing and the animal communication. And it really helped heal them. They say, like, when you heal, you're also healed.
What a beautiful journey you've had with the animals. And it's very interesting hearing you talk about the cats because here in Cyprus, we have so many wild cats and they're vicious, exactly like the cats you talked about. Like I go out with Lulu and we just get chased by the cats and I need to be like guardian because Lulu gets so scared. So I was wondering with animals, with pets, cats or dogs or any other animal that are traumatized, that are not used to being with people because many people like adopt for example, a cat or a pet or a dog from a shelter, and they have a trouble connecting with it. What are some steps with a traumatized animal or an animal that's not used to living with human? What are some steps to start letting them in a little bit, both ways?
Yeah. Well, that's a really big topic that comes up for me too. Is a lot of people rescue animals out of shelters. They may have been returned. And I usually say start small. Let's say you brought an animal into the home that has a traumatic background. Well, think of your house as this huge domain. So they might not want the whole house at first. Start them in small in like a room. Sometimes it's just a bathroom. Keep it in that or one small room where they can stay and they can feel comfortable. Give them space and respect. So remember how we communicate. It's not just through our words, but it's through our movement. It's through our sense of peace. So I really recommend having that respect first and talking to them. With animals, your words and your thoughts, they can pick up on your thoughts and the pictures in your mind. So what I tell people is to imagine what you want them to be doing. So if you want them to, let's say, like lay in the bed and be really calm, you can send them a picture in your mind of them doing that, of you imagining them doing that, while you also tell them that's what you want to do. And you're coming with the soft energy. The thing too is you don't want to have the expectation that, oh, they're traumatized. Oh, they're like people. They're not like people. They're animals. So we don't need to humanize them and make them have human characteristics. They don't have this layered aura like we do. So they're very open and expansive. Their house is their entire environment. So anything you adjust in the house, any smells you have, anything going on in the house, any people you have coming through, is going to impact them. It's going to affect them. They're very sensitive to all the energy. A lot of times they're holding energy for us. So coming in a very calm space and respect and making some, I usually tell people have like a welcoming ceremony, something really soft, like a little ceremony with them and saying, I welcome you to the home. I'm looking forward to this time with you. We are partners. I respect you. I want to know how I can make your time here the best it can be. And it might be give me some space. Give me some space for a week, and I'd like to stay under the bed, and just honor that. And when I'm ready, I will come out. And you can, I just tell people, just get into their heart and send love out from their heart. It can even be this, it looks like a tube of white light from your heart to their heart, just like sending them that love, and just not forcing things, because a lot of times if people have that idea that, oh, this is not going to go well, I'm going to take this dog for a walk, but it's not going to go well because I know those cats are out there and it's going to go terribly. They're like, okay, you want a terrible experience? Okay, we got it. We're calling that in. So I always tell people to have the intention of what the outcome is that you want to happen, how you want it to go, and just picture it. Like if you're going for a walk, you're going to picture in your mind, visualize the whole walk experience.
How about people who are not visual? Because I get so many messages from people
Mhm.
like, I can't visualize. What do I do? So, what are some alternative ways of communicating that don't involve visualization?
Right. So I think there's many ways. For me, I do a lot with the hands. And so with energy. So anyone can do this. Just rub your hands together and send the message, send the energy through your hands. I always work with golden light. I love working with golden light or white light, and just, and also if you're not wanting to visualize, you can say the words too. You can have the words that you're, like symbols that you say, messages that you say through your words, through your energy, just having and brushing through their energy field. This is one I do all the time, is without even really touching them, starting at the top of the head and just brushing through their energetic field. You can feel things, you can pick up on things, you'll receive messages that way too. And you can, and just come with love, and you just go through their whole body, um, brushing through every part, and then all the way. And I always like to balance out their chakras too. So starting at the base of the spine, you can put your hands over each chakra, building all the way up. And the goal is to balance. But again, you don't just come to the animal with all this energy. You ask permission. You make sure you're very calm, grounded, and centered, because sometimes animals won't want it. So if you, for example, if you're out and there's cats that are wild and you don't want to mess with them, you don't want to like get in their space, you can just say, I respect you. I'm sending the message. Would it be okay if you kind of cleared the way? We're going to walk this area, and we honor you. Aren't you so beautiful? You're the most beautiful kitty in the whole world. I always compliment the animals in the wild too. When I see them, I'm like, oh, you're so beautiful. You're singing the song of your people. You're just so wonderful. And do you have a message for me? And just honoring them. And I will talk to, it's funny, I live by the beach in San Diego, and there's a lot of seagulls. And I love being around these seagulls because they're so confident And they have so much, like they don't care. They will come and try to get food from anyone. They'll come right up to you, and they're strong. And the message I get from them is, wow, look at this ocean. This is my ocean. I'm a piece of this ocean, and I know all is well. And everything is great in this moment. So I've learned from the birds a lot. I know I tell people, when you're out in nature, notice where the bird is, and just get present in the moment with them. And you can have or sometimes maybe recording a video, and you'll get a message later. It'll just drop into your consciousness. Oh my gosh, that was the message from that experience.
Do different animals have different communication styles? For example, like cats communicate differently than dogs. And by the way, let's include like other types of pets as well, like iguanas, for example, or owls, or like I have my eyes set for an owl. I want an owl pet.
In my experience, I believe it's the receiver. So it's based on how tuned in, tapped in I am. And I'm speaking English. I hear in English the words. It's more of, I don't think of them as the type of animal. It's almost like the being of the animal. I'll hear different voices and different personalities. We talk about like felinality or equinality. Like the horse, I've worked with horses a lot, and I feel it's, for me, it's more feeling different. The horses have huge, huge hearts. And anyone that's worked with a horse will say, wow, they are all heart, right? And so they're here from another dimension. That's what I feel. I connect them with their unicorns. I have so much fun with these horses. Their energy is huge. So it's more about their energy, what they come with. I communicated with a shark recently, and the energy was just beautiful. It was just, why are you fearful, right, of me? I have a lot of beauty. That was the message, but the shark had, which was really cool. So for me, it's more of, it depends on the animal and sometimes I feel like the more wild they are, the bigger they are, it might be slower. It might be less words, where a little dog who has a ton of personality, because they're a mirror for their human who has a ton of personality, they'll go boop, 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 boop. Like they may have a ton of words to say, where an animal in nature might just have a couple words to say. It really depends on the animal. And also for me, I have to have the intention that I want to have that communication with them, and that they want to too. It's up to them. They might not want to communicate.
You also talked about briefly in the beginning, and I want to go a little bit deeper about animals like pets passing on. So do they still want to hang out with us and communicate with us when they've passed? And how do we go about maintaining that relationship?
I love this. Yes, they absolutely do. Most of the animals that come to me at the end of their life, it's the most joyous session ever. They are so happy to be going home, to go to that next stage, because they don't want to be limited by a pain body. They want to be with us. And every time they tell me, I can help you more from the other side. I can keep working with you from the other side. I can coordinate everything going on to help make things in your favor. I can guide you. I can drop in and send you a thought. You'll think of me. And they come through all the time. They're funny. Sometimes they're really funny. They'll say, oh, you can get another pet, but they're not going to be like me, or I'll guide you to another animal if that's what's in your path for you. Sometimes it's not. But they do absolutely still work with us. And I will get dreams about certain animals I've had. Sometimes I'll dream about one of the animals from the fund they'll come through and give me a message. You can ask them to come to a dream and have a communication with you. You could write them a letter. You can just know that they are still with you. They want to keep helping you on your path. And just whenever you do something with intention and you honor them, they receive it.
Speaking of animals, like when they're sick, for example, and we know they're going to pass on, or just when they're sick and they may get better afterwards, what's the best thing we can do to support them?
When they're sick, Yes. So healing is not curing, but I feel like energy healing, getting them some energy, giving them energy healing would be work wonders to help them heal. Because think about it, if we went to the doctor, we weren't feeling well, what do we need? We need rest, we need quiet, we need just space to heal. So the best thing I recommend sunshine by a window, or getting them some fresh air and also doing some energy work with them, just brushing through their field, putting your hands over, let's say they had surgery, just putting your hands over that spot where you're not necessarily touching it, but maybe a couple inches up from it and sending that golden light saying, I am a channel for this healing. The best healing that this animal need, I'm giving them that. I have that intention. I am just focusing on sending this light to them to help them heal and thrive, and just really giving them lots of love during that time, knowing it's all going to work well. The biggest thing too, again, is don't have that nervousness, don't have that stress about it, because they're, whatever we're feeling, they're picking that up like times 5 or even times 10. So if we're feeling a lot of anxiety at work or stress, they're holding that for us. They're going to feel it too, and it's going to be why they're acting out sometimes, or they just have an outburst, because the energy has to go somewhere. They're like this big sponge holding all of our energy for us. So a lot of times when an animal is healing, I tell the person to tell them, look, you don't need to hold on to all of this stuff for me. I want you to focus on healing right now. Don't worry about holding everything for everybody. Just relax, heal, and help them just focus all their energy on healing. Give them their space and their time. They will get better. And imagine in your mind what you want to be doing with them, where give them things to look forward to. You can have, even I sometimes when it's the end of life, I say make a bucket list. Stop being so sad about them leaving and just use this last period of their life to tell them how much fun you had with them, to relive some of those fun moments you had, to go to the beach, to go for a drive, to get something, a special treat, and focus more on the good and not the bad. Like, they don't want you to just be so sad about it. They will move on. They are just like, okay, I'm good, I'm in the moment, what's happening in this moment.
Communicating with animals is essential because, I mean,
Yeah.
it's like being in any kind of a relationship or friendship. It's just a matter of communicating our feelings, and sometimes we communicate just verbally without forgetting the intention and the visualization and the healing, and we just assume that we know the answers. But if we just have the openness to listen from them and receive those intuitive messages, I feel we can have a deeper connection with them. And thank you so much for being on the podcast and sharing all these fabulous tools with us. Let us know, where can people get in touch with you to work with you?
People can go to my website, diamondactivations.com, and they can book a session with me for an hour long, and we can tune into your pet's energy and hear what messages they have for you, how you can help have a stronger connection with them and help them thrive with your time together. And it would be really fun. I would love to hear from your audience. So diamondactivations.com.
Thank you so much, Kate. Wishing you a lovely rest of your day.